welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic. And what better way to celebrate reaching 500,000 subscribers on YouTube than with a puzzle by the puzzle maker who is responsible for a lot of our growth. And that is, of course, Ard van de Wetering from the Netherlands. Ard's come up with a puzzle today called Swirling 15. And we are told this is an absolute masterpiece, so this is going to be good. Now, if you don't know then, I think Ard must be probably the most famous puzzle maker in the world. And I say that because even just on Cracking the Cryptic, I think Ard's puzzles have been viewed something like 9 or 10 million times, which is quite a lot. And if you try and think of another puzzle maker who's had a puzzle that's been, viewed or attempted that many times, I'm not sure I can think of anybody. Let me think. No, nobody is springing to mind. So I may be wrong, but I think calling Ard the most famous puzzle maker in the world is probably actually accurate, and it's with good reason. Ard's puzzles are always absolutely fascinating. And I think we've got a playlist devoted to Ard on the channel, actually, so if you enjoy this one, there's more where that came from. But before I read you the rules to this one, which are weird indeed, let me talk about a few things. Because we've reached 500,000 subscribers, we are doing a couple of things to celebrate. The first is that our book, Cracking the Cryptic Greatest Hits, is available at a discount. Look, I've got it here. Is this the English version? It is. There, that's it. It's very good. Let me try and show you. You can see I haven't filled in many of the puzzles, but hopefully you can see it is very beautiful. And if you use the discount code, which is in the video description to this video, you can get your hold of a book at a discounted price. And we don't have many books left, so if you've been thinking about getting one and holding off, now is the time, or you may be disappointed. Now, the other thing, of course, and this is another thing we're really excited about, is we have been creating this special app, basically, which we're going to be releasing free. Now, we hope that will be on Monday on all platforms. And basically, it's a pack of puzzles. It's got more than 20 puzzles in by some of the great and the good of the Sudoku community, including, of course, Ard van de Wetering. It's going to come out on all platforms on Monday. So the way to get it is completely free. Just download our free Cracking the Cryptic app, which you can find links to in the video description, and then look on Monday to see whether there's a pack available. It'll be called something like 500,000 subs pack or something, and download it. It's completely free, and you'll be blown away by the quality of the puzzles. Mark and I have been testing and hinting them over the last few weeks, and there is much to love. So it is absolutely, it's halcyon days for the world of Sudoku at the moment. Now, on to other news. We are almost at the end of the month, so it's almost Patreon reward time. I'll talk about that more about that in the coming days. Happy birthdays. I need to do some. Callum, you turned 28 on the 20th of August when I was on holiday. I'm sorry I couldn't do the announcement then. Your sister Amy told us this news, and we hope that you enjoyed your holiday in Madrid. Grace, you turned 20 on the 12th of August, and your boyfriend Francesco told us that. I hope that everybody here, everyone I list here, has had an amazing amount of cake. Sylvia, from your boyfriend Luca, I think it might have been the 18th of August was your birthday. Again, I was on holiday. But Rachel Todd, you turned 25 today, I believe, and your sister Annabelle let us know this. So all of you, fantastic. I hope you've had brilliant days, and I hope you've been enjoying the videos on the channel on your birthdays as well. Now, all that said and done, let me read you the rules of Swirling 15. They've got a sort of magic square going on there, which is a bit of an Ard van de Wetering special. The rules are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. In every cage, the digits must sum to 15. So there are loads of cages in the grid, you can see. So they sum to 15, those sum to 15, those sum to 15, etc., etc. And the complicated part of the rules is the following. The central 3x3 box in grey is semi-magic, i.e. its rows and columns sum to 15, so those three cells sum to 15, those three cells sum to 15, but its diagonals do not necessarily sum to 15. So that means we're not going to be able to do our patented trick of plonking 5 in the middle of the magic square. So if this was a complete, not a semi-magic square, if it was a complete magic square, you can do a little bit of maths to show that the central digit here would have to be a 5, and in fact with the 3 here you'd then be away. But that maths relies on the diagonals as well, which we're told explicitly here do not necessarily sum to 15. So all we're told here is that each individual row and column of the 3x3 have to sum to 15, and that's all the rules. So do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. I get 3 given digits today. Ard is normally fairly generous with given digits in the sense that he doesn't normally give me 0. So maybe we've got to use the secret. Now the secret is something I only tell my favourite people, but if you're watching the video, of course you're in that coterie. The secret is that any complete box of a Sudoku contains digits that sum to 45. And that's because, by the rules of Sudoku, we know each box contains the digits 1 to 9 once each. If you add up the digits 1 to 9, you get 45. So what I'm just thinking here is, if I know those 3 add up to 15, and I know those 2 add up, those 2 add up to 15, those 5 must add up to 30. 30 plus 2 is 32, which means those 3 cells add up to 13. And that is as useful as a chocolate teapot. Okay, we've got the same sort of thing going on down in box 9, look, but with 34 in those cells, so those 3 add up to 11. I'm afraid that doesn't yield anything obvious to me, at least. So maybe I do have to think about the magic square, do I? So, okay, yes. Right, so I can say something immediately, therefore, about those dominoes, can't I? And that's because if we know those 3 squares add up to 15, then those 2 squares add up to 12, and so do those 2 squares. But 12 in 2 cells, there's only 3 ways of doing that. It's either 3, 9, which it's not, because that's going to lead to 2 3s in the box, 4, 8, or 5, 7. So one of these dominoes is 4, 8, and the other is 5, 7. So we could put that in, which means the rest of this box is made up of 1s, 2s, 6s, and 9s. So I can see from that the 9s and the 6s can't be in the same row or column, because if we try and go 9, 6, that's going to have to be a 0 to make the world work, and that's not going to work in terms of the rules of Sudoku. So there's a sort of 9, 6 diagonal thing going on. No, I've got nothing there. Oh dear. Right, so it's something else apparently, which is probably going to be... I don't know, I was going to say colouring. I think the 3 cell cages adding up to 15 are tricky. That's a very average total. The average digit in this cage is going to be 5, isn't it? Because we've got 3 cells adding to 15. But with dominoes that sum to 15, it's either going to be 6, 9 or 7, 8. So I'm thinking... Right, well I know that one is different from that one. Because if this was 6, 9, for example, this could not be a 6, 9 domino. It would have to be a 7, 8 domino. So these 2 are different. So what's that one? Okay. That is not purple. See if you can see why. So, if this was purple, where would we put the purple cells in box 9? Well, they can't overlap with the green cells, so imagine these were both 6, 9 pairs. We know this is then going to be a 7, 8 pair, so we can't put purple in here. So there's going to be a purple domino there, and that breaks the puzzle. Because now I've got 3 different sort of virtual cages in box 9 that sum to 15. This one this one, and this one. And that's already 45, which requires those two cells to add up to 0. That is not going to work. So that cannot be purple, and that's got to be green. Right. Okay, so that... the thing that I'm seeing there is that this cell is now a green cell. And that's because whatever this digit is, we know it appears in that domino, so by Sudoku in this box it's got to go there because it can't overlap with purple. And the other green digit is going to be in one of those two cells, but we don't know which one. I might pencil mark that actually, with a sort of grey flash to indicate one of these is green. But I don't know which one it is. The green can't go there, obviously, because if that's green, then this domino adds up to 15, and that would have to be a 0 to make that cage add up to 15, so that won't work. So, but the tricky thing is going to be... no, it's not. No, okay, this is okay. This is okay, we can propagate this. Yes, of course we can. Right. So the question to ask now is, what's the nature of this domino? And it's not green. Because if this was green, what's this domino? Well, it can't be green, it's going to have to be purple, and that's going to lead to this domino to have to be green by Sudoku, and now those 7 digits are adding up to 45, and this would have to be 00. Oh, 00 I was trying to put in there, failed completely. That won't work. So that means that this is purple again, and not green, which means this is green, because it can't be purple now. So now... yeah, this keeps going. This keeps going. So exactly that logic. I'm not going to repeat it, but you can look at it again. It's the same logic again. This can't be green because that's going to make that domino green and make those 7 cells add up to 45. So that's got to be purple, which makes this green. And now that can't be green, obviously, because that's going to break that cell. So that's purple. So this is why it's called Swirling 15s, isn't it? These dominoes sort of swirl round the grid like a Catherine wheel. And we can do the greenification of some of these internal cells. That's got to be green because that digit needs to find a home in this box. It's got to be there. And it's the sort of counterpart of this one. That digit has to find a home in this box, and it's got to be there. This digit has to find a home in this box, so it's got to be there. And we've also got domino... yeah, so this digit in box 8, it can't be in those cells. It can't go in the cage with the other green cell, or those 2 cells will add up to 15, and that would be a 0. So one of those is grey. One of these is grey, and one of these is grey. Which feels like it might be important, doesn't it? Although, maybe not, or maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not actually seeing what this does. Maybe, can we do something with the purples instead? Or is that going to be a bridge too far? Actually, maybe we can do something with the purples. I can definitely tell you that cell's purple, and that I'm just thinking about the effect of purple on box 3. Those are purple. Those are purple. Now that means purple cannot be in those 5 cells by Sudoku. So we know purple is not green, so it's not that one, which means 2 of these 3 cells are purple. Again, I cannot make both of those purple, because if they do, that's got to be a 0. This is really clever, so that's got to be purple. And now, where does this digit go in this box? By Sudoku, it goes in the corner. Oh, this propagate. Oh, this is just beautiful. So now we're going to go back round the other way, I think, because I can just repeat that logic with purple in this box. Where does purple go? It cannot go in this cell, so that's got to be purple. Now, where does purple go in this box? This purple, in box 7. It can't go in those cells, it can't go in these cells, so it hides in the corner. And now we use these two purples on box 7 and say, where do purples go? We can't have a purple here, so that's got to be purple. That purple in box 9 goes in the corner. These purples operate on box 9 to force purples into those 3 cells, and we can't put purple there, so that's purple, which puts a purple in the corner. And we've got the most beautiful little pattern here. So now what do we do? I would love... I'm wondering whether what we're going to have to do at some point is to start trying to differentiate between our two digits within purple, because obviously these two are different. So that one is the same as whichever one goes in there. I've done it. I've done it. Right. Right. Let's return to the semi-magic square in the middle and ask questions about that. Where are the purple digits in this box? Now, I've got 2 purple digits in this column, and I've got 2 purple digits in that row, so the purple digits are not there. But what's the nature of the purple digits? We know that they're either 6 and 9 or they're 7 and 8. Well, 3 is not a 6, 9 or a 7 or an 8. So 2 of these 3 digits are purple, and we know that those purple digits sum to 15. So this one cannot be one of them, because once you add one of those digits in, you will not get 15. This is a 7-8 purple pair, is what we're being told here. So purple is 7-8, which means green... Oh, hang on. Let's just tidy up the middle. That's a 4-5 pair. Green, I'm not sure how to deal with... I think I'm going to get rid of those green flashes there, maybe. Because what I want to do, I'm just going to get rid of them for a moment, is I want to label up green with 6 and 9 to see if that is going to help me. Yes, okay. Okay, so let's look at the central box again. Remember, what we're looking for is rows and columns that sum to 15. So, what digit can you never put with a 7 or an 8? The answer is a 9. If either of those were 9, 9 plus 7 is already 16. The other digit would have to be negative, and it's not yesterday's puzzle, so that's not possible. So those can't be 9, and for the same reason, those can't be 9. So the only place 9 goes in the middle box is in the middle, therefore proving that this is a broken magic square, because this diagonal is adding up to a 24, not 15. Now 9 cannot go with a 6, because if there's a 6 in either of those squares, you'd have to put a 0 in one of those squares to keep it down to a 15 total. So 6 hides in the corner of this box, and that diagonal sums up to 18. Oh, this is... Right, so that is a 6-9 green pair. Oh, bobbins. Oh, no. Well, remember what I did? I deleted all these dominoes. And now this 6-9 pair is going to, I think, disambiguate all those dominoes, although I might be wrong about that. Well, let's just see what we can do with it. We can put 9 in there, 9 in there. Yeah, okay. So 9 and 9 means there is a 9 in here. So how could that be a 6? Well, it couldn't be, because then there would be a 9 and a 6 in this box, and the other digit would be a 0. So that's a 9, that's a 9, that's a 6. And now we knew one of these was a 6, and there's a 6 here. So that's a 6, and that's green. That's a 6 by Sudoku. Whoa, I'll put the green in first. That means this is a... Oh, we could have got that before. So that's a 6, that's a 9. That's a 9, that's a 6. Can we do the same here? Do we know what this is? Yeah, we do. It's the same logic. If this digit was a 6, by Sudoku there would be a 9 in one of those squares, and then this cage would add up to 15 in 2 digits, and it needs to add up to 15 in 3 digits. So that's the 9, that's the 9, that's the 6. So 6, right, where does 6 go in box 2? We know it can't go in the cage with the 9, so it goes there. 6, 6. Have I done all this? No, I haven't done a 6 in this box. Where does that go? Oh, it goes there. How many 6s have I done now? All the 6s. All the 6s are done. How many 9s have I done? All of them. How many 7s and 8s have I done? Well, I've got them. Yeah, I've positioned them all, but I haven't disambiguated the order of them. So that might be what we have to do with the given digits. Let me just think about this. So have we... No, I don't think this 3 is doing enough work on these dominoes, is it, to tell us which way round the 7s and the 8s go. In this column, we've got a 9 in a 15 cage, so these two squares add up to 6, so they're either 1, 5 or they're 2, 4. That means that there is a virtual 4, 5 pair in this column. This 4, 5 and the 4, 5 that's in one of those two squares is a pair. So that means that digit at the bottom is a 1 or a 2. It's the counterpart to whatever goes in here that's a 1 or a 2. So that's a 1 or a 2. 4 is now in one of those two cells, so 4 is in one of these two cells. $30. No, okay, forget that. This is better. Right, look at this box. This triomino and this domino add up to 30. 30 plus 7 or 8 is either 37 or 38. That means those 3 digits, in order to make the box add up to 45 by the secret, either add up to 7 or 8, which means there is a 1 in those 3 cells. And that, by geometry, is the same in all of these. In all of these boxes, look, because you've always got a 7, 8 at the pinch point, you're always going to have 7s or 8 totals in these little triominoes. So there's a 1 in one of those, 1 in one of these, 1 in one of those, which puts the 1 out here, which gives me a 1 here, that's going to go round the grid like a dose of salts, isn't it? That's a 1, that's a 1. And now we can say that, do we know what this is now? So I've got 15, 30, 35 plus either 8 or 7. So that's a 2 or a 3 to make the box add up to 45. Okay. Can I do that? Or maybe it's that one. What's that digit then? Oh, so yeah, this is the same. It's the sort of same principle. We've got 30, 33, so that's either 5 or 4, depending on what this is. 2 in box 3 is in one of those squares. Oh, that does it. That does it. Because how could this be 8? If this is 8, what you've got there is 38, which means this would have to be a 1, 2, 4 triple in order to add up to 7. That's the only way of making 7 in 3 cells. You can't put 2 in it. So that cell has to be 7 in order to give us a bit of latitude. And that means that's 8, which means that's 8 and that's 7, which means that's 7 and that's 8, that's 8 and that's 7. So now let's come back to this one, because where you have a 38 total between those 6 cells, we know we're always looking at 1, 2, 4. So that's a 2, that's a 2. This has to add up to 15, so that's a 5. This is just, it's so good. This is, again, it is absolutely majestic from Ard. This is a 3 by Sudoku. I think this is just filling in. 1, 2, 4, 3, 5. 4 here means this is a 4. We know we've got 37 in those, so these have to add up to 8. So that's got to be a 3. That's a 3. That's a 5 by Sudoku. This is a 4. This is a 3 by Sudoku. These squares are 1, 2, and 4. There's so much symmetry as well. So this must be a 3, 5 pair. Oh, I can't. Right, that is a 3, 5 pair by Sudoku. You can't put a 3 in a cage with a 9, because then that would also have to be a 3. So that's got to be 5. That's got to be 1. That's got to be 3. This is a 2, 4 pair. What's this 1 doing? Oh, this 5's doing work. That's doing the middle box. Now I've got 7 there, so that's got to be 8 in order for that to add up to 15. So that's 7. That's 2. That's 1 to make these add up to 15. That's 2. That's 4. That's 7. That's 8. That's 7. That's 8. That's 7. That's 8. That's 7. That's 8. That's 3. 3 and 5. I'm in danger of making a slip up here by going too quickly. This can't be 5, 1, so that's 2, 4. This is 1, 3, 5. This is now 2, 4, which we can do the order of. So is this 1, 3, 5? Yeah, this is 1, 3, 5 as well. So it's all just filling in. These are 5 and 2. Oh, that is so clever. Let me just check. Yes. Wow. Just wow. That is quite beautiful, isn't it? That is another masterpiece from Ard van de Wetering. Ard, take yet another bow. I loved that. That was so clever. I love the way that the sort of maths of this box, which wasn't profound in the way that a normal magic square can be. It was just enough to allow the colouring that we could do to force forcing these to be a 7-8 pair is so clever. And that then running through the grid, it's just quite beautiful. I look forward to the comments on this one again. I do enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. I'm sure they will be today. Do give Ard some love, for the man deserves it. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.